We have only recently had the opportunity to watch the final of the second series of the BBC competition All That Glitters, where for the first time one of our students also made the selection. She may not have won, but impressed many with her geometric designs and methodical approach. To talk about her trajectory as an aspiring jeweler to date and her experience taking part in the show, I'm excited to speak to Tianne Louise-Simmons. Following in the footsteps of her father, who is a diamond mounter, she has started a career in the trade as a goldsmith, following her graduation of the academy. With much excitement, I would like to say welcome, Tianne.
Thank you, Sophie. What a nice message. Thank you for having me.
Tianne, to start, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and what it is that you do?
So right now I'm working as a jobber goldsmith. So that's someone that does repairs, but I also do my own private work, which entails bespoke jewellery design and commissions. So I like to make stuff that you can't buy in the shop and that you can't find on Google anyway. Well, I hope to think that you can't find any of the designs on Google. I just like to make things that move, but also I like traditional jewelry. So I'm currently working on a collection that hopefully will entail all of these things into one. So yeah, a lot of work going on.
Our listeners may not be able to see you by now, but if they would recognize you from having taken part in this BBC show All That Glitters. What made you decide to take part in the show?
I never actually thought I'm going to be on TV. My dream wasn't to go on TV, but I saw the first series and I was inspired by one of the previous contestants, Hugo Lewis, really inspired me. I said, "Wow, that's impressive." So I thought he's quite young, and I'm quite young, so let's give it a go. And the rest is history.
And was it a difficult application process, or did you feel that that was easy to complete?
So the application process, I'll be honest with you, the hardest part I found was you had to do like a little intro video thing, and that was the hardest part of the process. They give you some challenges to make sure that you're capable of competing on the show. The challenge itself wasn't too difficult, but they give you a time limit even on the challenge. So that was my first taste of working to a time, a serious time, and yeah, it was quite tricky. But anything that's worth doing is tricky, I say.
That's a good philosophy to live by. It is fair to say that jewelry runs in your family, right? Because your father is also in the trade. What made you decide to follow in his footsteps and go for a career in jewelry?
So I started my career in jewelry when I was around 17 because I've always liked the way things work and I also like shiny things. So I thought, wow, I can do both of them and have fun. My dad was a jeweler and I watched him making jewelry and it really wowed me to think that you can make something from a strip of metal, you can form stuff. And also I like figuring out how things work. Jewelry is quite a problem solving task. And yeah, my first job wasn't jewelry. I had to do quite a few other jobs, but I've always gravitated back round to jewelry. So yeah, it's, even when I was a different job, this is what I would research, and I'm just obsessed with jewelry, man.
That's amazing. And jewelry, but not necessarily silversmithing or metalwork on a larger scale. Is there something about the small scale of it that interests you as well?
Yeah, so often people think that, oh, that's so small. How could you make something so small? And when you're working with such a small scale, it's very satisfying. Very You feel like you've accomplished something. And I like making large stuff as well. A lot of people know me. Quite my jewelry's quite big, quite chunky, but I'm getting more into making fine, small detail stuff.
What is the wearability of the piece if it is a little bit larger? Is that a question you ask yourself? How wearable does it have to be, or is that not of importance to you as much?
I would say that I do consider wearability in my pieces. It is important that because what's the point of making a piece of jewelry that sits in the box, in the jewelry box? You have to be able to wear it. So therefore I have to accommodate these things into when I'm making it. So when I make my jewelry, it's not like normal. There's no textbook to it. So I have to kind of figure it out as I'm going along. And that's what I love about it. Every day is exciting. Every day is different.
Yeah, no piece is ever the same, is it, when you make it? It's always a journey of discovery.
Definitely bespoke, one of one.
When watching the show, I felt your considered approach to the theme and your style really stood out. Did taking part in the program enable sort of more development of your style, or did that not really happen during the show?
The show, they let me basically you have material restrictions. So with me, I like to make things big, and I like to even if you're making something small, sometimes you need extra metal to get the shape that you're trying to achieve. So on the show, I found that I was able to show my style, but not fully. For example, the stuff I made on the show, if I made it at home, I would make it a lot better, lot better. Yeah.
Yeah, those time restrictions as well when you're working with geometric designs.
I can take hours just measuring.
The toughest thing about it is the short amount of time, because as a jeweler you have to take the time to measure, to calculate, to adjust, and then you can run. But if you don't have that time, it's tricky to get it done, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll definitely say though it was good. It improved my designing. It improved me. It allowed me to think out of the box. Yeah, and don't be scared to make whatever your heart desires, basically.
For those who haven't watched the show, there were challenges each week to produce bestsellers and bespoke pieces. Was there one particular challenge that you took part in that you found most challenging or most interesting?
Definitely. So episode 2, the spinner ring and the hairpin. I was in love. I was so happy. The whole episode, I was just like a Cheshire cat, just grinning the whole time.
Were there any sort of unexpected benefits of taking part in the program also now that it's been on TV?
Yes, so the unexpected benefit of going on there was I've had lots of people reaching out to me asking for work, and also I've had lots of kind messages, which I'm not really used to. I'm a very private person, so yeah, I've been thrust out there into the limelight, but it's all been positive so far.
Oh, that's amazing to hear, because I think encouragement when you start out as a jeweler is actually really important.
Yes, confidence. I'd say confidence is very important.
And then it is the second season of the show, and the group of participants was really strong. What did you feel like to compete with each other in these sort of challenges?
When I got there, I thought, oh, everyone's going to be really competitive. Obviously, it's a competition; everyone is competitive, but they were all really nice. We was all because we all it was like a baptism of fire. We all knew we were all going through the same thing, so there was no maliciousness, no animosity. People were actually helping each other. People were giving tips and stuff. And it was really interesting to see because you know how jewelers are. People hide hide their methods, and they're like they don't want to help you, you know. So yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, do you think that sort of this secretive nature is something that we should try and reduce in the jewelry industry, because it's quite nice when you start to work together to achieve progress?
Yeah, I think as an industry, we are becoming less secretive. Like, for instance, there's things out there that when I started, when I was 17, you could never find them on the internet. You had to physically know somebody to know that. So I do think that we are taking more steps in industry, and it will gain customers' trust. I feel that people want to know how jewelry is made. Like when I tell people I make jewelry, they don't actually know. People don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And a program like All That Glitters is actually helping, not fully because there is a lot to know about making jewelry, but it's helping to communicate some of those skills. Would you agree with that?
I would say it's definitely inspiring more jewelers, more people to take up the craft. Some people might think, oh, jewelry can be made in 5 hours, but that's a competition. If you really want to make jewelry, it can take months, it can take years. But I'd say the show has it's brought our industry into a limelight because there's not well, there is jewelers out there, but no one really passing on the craft. How do I explain it? No one's really passing down the knowledge. I'm worried that one day it will get lost, if you know what I mean.
You decided to come to the academy actually to learn more about the skills. What made you decide to do that rather than perhaps take on just the skills that your dad could teach you or stay within, for example, in a company?
I'll be honest with you, there was no one really taking on anybody without experience. A lot of people said, you need to have a little bit of experience. So I went to college and I wanted to learn in a relaxed environment. I feel that, yeah, it's great to learn on the job. But if you have like no experience and you go into a jeweler's, you're not. I feel that you can learn more in an environment where you can make mistakes freely, and that's what British Academy of Jewellery offered. A safe place for me to make mistakes and teachers there to guide me the right way.
That's nice to hear because, yes, I think when you also go in the stress of performing on the job immediately, I think making things with base metals as well before you go on to these really precious metals gives you an opportunity to learn skills before you.
Yeah, if you work on the base metals, me personally, I found this. If you can work with base metal and you can solder copper, brass, all of that stuff, you can solder anything. And I think that's why the college do that. Copper and brass is so hard to solder. If you can do all of that, gold, easy.
I learned myself with base metals and I say the same thing. It's like driving a car. You first want to drive on manual and then you can drive on automatic, but you need to understand what's going on. And I think with soldering, all the oxidization and the dirt, and you have to be so careful with base metals because it can go wrong so quickly. And then when you go on to gold, you're like, okay, this is an automatic. I don't have to think anymore.
This is a breeze, like of course, base metal, if you work with that, then you can't wait to get away from it, get rid of the green fingers,
And the smell.
Yes, and that as well. Oh, anyway, don't miss it.
I can see that there's no base metals in your future designs.
No, not at the moment. No, I don't want to use I call it alternative materials.
No, so a lover of the precious metals.
Yeah, I've had to do a few rubbish jobs as well. Like I haven't always done making jewelry and working in nice metals. I've done some hard jobs as well.
But you have to do some harder jobs or different jobs to sometimes, focus on the dream. And I guess it's, things come on our path and it goes the way it goes. And you learn from every job a little bit, to be honest. So.
Yeah, you take a little bit of skill from every job. Yeah, I'd say that. Yeah, definitely.
Nothing's ever wasted, I would say. And then for anyone thinking, about applying to the show, would you have any sort of tips or guidance? Should they do it? What should they think about?
Okay, I think you should go for it because I was nervous. I didn't even think they were going to pick me. And I think anyone should go for it. You don't have to be the best professional jeweler in the world. It's all about your designs, your passion, and your heart. And try to do some timed challenges at home. Try and time yourself because when you're making jewelry, it's very easy to get sucked in, and time goes very quickly. Don't know about you, but I can spend the whole day polishing or whatever.
They call that state of flow. The clock is a thing that you don't realize exists.
Oh, is it? I didn't even know that. Thanks. See, I learned something here as well. So, I would say definitely time yourself. Time yourself and keep track of what you're doing, and also have a plan. A plan helps. A proper plan with like, what am I going to do at this time? I'm giving away all my secrets now.
Are you going to apply again, Tianne?
I don't know. Not next year, though, no.
finally, my last question is, what's in store for you for the future? Do you have anything that you'd like to share with the podcast audience? What should we be looking out for from you?
So right now I'm working on my new collection and it's all being handmade. So it's going to take some time, but it's coming slowly. Also, I'm working on a new website, so look out for that. So new pieces will be dropping on the Instagram, and then once I've got the website going, they will go on there. Two of my rings that I made for a customer, she took them to Milano Jewellery Week. They got exhibited there. Yeah, so that was great. Yeah, so that was good news. And that's all I got going on at the moment. Yeah.
Well, it's remarkable, to get from studying at the academy straight into a show like that and now working on your own collection. People see something in you, Tianne, so that's really good. It's really nice to hear. We're all very proud at BHA.
Thank you, thank you. Thanks to all the teachers at British Academy of Jewellery for giving me the time off as well to go and do the show. That's it. I was in the middle of doing my final project, and I had to take a couple of days off to go up to Birmingham. It's all been a blur. It's all been a whiz since then. It's gone so quickly.
For young graduates to get exposure of their skills and craft is often very challenging. A TV show like All That Glitters enables us to have a look at the bench of jewelers from a range of backgrounds and with varying experience in the trade. In Tianne's case, we got to see an aspiring goldsmith and jeweler with personality and a unique approach. Gaining confidence and developing your style whilst working is an exciting journey, one which we aim to stimulate for students at the Academy, and it is exciting we got to follow Tianne's development after BHA. Thank you, Tianne, for joining us today to shed a light on your practice and the experience you had. We look forward to seeing what you do next.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Next, I'll be joined by another guest, so watch this space to find out who it is. But for now, this was Sofie Boons for the BHA podcast All That Glitters Season 2 with Tianne Louise-Simmons. Thank you for listening and have a wonderful day.